Determination of crude fiber content is a common proximate analysis. This parameter is very important for the analysis of food and feed sample. This video represents the detailed procedure of crude fiber analysis. Welcome to the channel Microchems Experiments. Be with us, be a laboratory expert. We can analyze a sample for the crude fiber content by following 5 steps. Boiling in acid solution, boiling in base solution, drying fiber, incineration of fiber and calculation. To do the test, we need some apparatus and equipment like balance machine, muffled furnace, hot plate and hot air oven. Among the glassware we need measuring cylinder, funnel, crucible, conical flask, beaker, cotton cloth, marker pen and spoon. To carry out the whole test we need 2 chemical solutions. They are 0.128 molar sulfuric acid and 0.313 molar sodium hydroxide. Before going for fiber analysis, we need to prepare these chemical solutions first. Let's go for the chemical preparation. To prepare 0.128 molar sulfuric acid solution, we need concentrated sulfuric acid. Firstly, take approximately 400 milliliters of distilled water into a volumetric flask. Carefully add 3.5 milliliters of 98% concentrated sulfuric acid and wash the pipette to ensure that no residue of sulfuric acid is left on the inner surface of the pipette to transfer into the flask. Rotate the flask several times for proper mixing of acid with water. Finally, add enough distilled water to make the final volume of 500 milliliters. .128 molar sulfuric acid, ready to use in the fiber analysis. Now we are going to prepare 0.313 molar sodium hydroxide solution. To prepare this, we need sodium hydroxide pure pellets. Weight 6.25 grams of sodium hydroxide pellets. Label a volumetric flask. Pour approximately 400 milliliters of distilled water into the volumetric flask and transfer the weighted sodium hydroxide into the same flask. Shake the flask to dissolve pellets in water. Finally, fill the flask with water up to the mark to make the final volume of 500 milliliters. Now we are ready to do the fiber analysis. Measure 200 milliliters of 0.128 molar sulfuric acid and pour into a 500 milliliters conical flask. Weight approximately 2 grams of homogenized sample. Add the sample in the conical flask and rotate to mix with the acid solution. Place the flask on a hot plate and boil the sample in acid with periodic agitation for 30 minutes. After 30 minutes of boiling, arrange a discard system and filter the boiled sample using a cotton cloth and funnel. Wash the conical flask and the filtrate with hot water to remove the acid residue which could interfere in the next step during boiling with basic solution. Now take 200 milliliters of 0.313 molar sodium hydroxide solution and pour into the washed conical flask, washing the filtrate into the flask. Shake the flask to mix the filtrate with sodium hydroxide solution and place it on the hot plate again for boiling. In this step, the sample will be boiled in basic solution. Boil the sample or filtrate for another 30 minutes as it was done previously in acid solution. After boiling, filter the sample using cotton cloth and wash it with hot water to remove the sodium hydroxide residue completely. You can see the fiber on the cloth. Now collect the fiber in a clean crucible. Place the crucible on hot plate for remove the excess water from it. Now the collected fiber is dried in hot air oven at 130 degrees Celsius for 2 hours. After drying, take out the crucible from the oven and cool in a desiccator. You can see the dried fiber in the crucible. Place the crucible in muffled furnace and burn the fiber at 550 degrees Celsius for 2 hours. After burning, take out the crucible from the furnace and cool it in desiccator. Take weight of the crucible with ash. Now we are in the final step. Before calculating the fiber content, we will put some values in the right side of the board. We took 2.0989 grams of sample for testing, that is why weight of sample WS is 2.0989 grams. We know the weight of crucible with fiber W1 from our note, which is 22.1333 grams. We also know the weight of crucible with ash W2 is 22.0816 grams. Now we will put all of the values in the equation given in the left side of the board. W1 is 22.1333. Minus W2 is 22.0816. WS is 2.0989. By solving the equation, we get the crude fiber is 2.46.